Hi guys, Mary is still busy, so I'm standing in for her to speak to you in this video. My name is Jonathan and I'm a dating, relationship, and personal development coach. Today I'm talking about how a woman feels when she realizes that she has lost you. So one of the main things that a woman will feel and experience when she feels like she has lost you is she'll feel a need to reconnect with you in some way. Now, these forms of reconnection may be quite subtle at first. So for example, she may reach out to you on something like Instagram or Facebook. It may be that you start to hear about her from any mutual friends that you may have, or maybe one of her friends starts talking to you, and you can kind of tell that that friend is fishing for information. So to begin with, a woman who feels like she's lost you will try to reconnect with you. But she will test the waters first. She won't just flat out come up to you or call you up and message you and say, "I miss you," even though sometimes that does happen. But more often than not, a woman will test the waters first before reaching out to you and messaging you. And even when it gets to the point where she does message you, she again may not directly say, "I miss you," "I still love you," "I want to get back together," or "I made a mistake leaving you." What she will do is she'll just say something inconsequential, such as, and casual like, "Hey, how are you?" She might not necessarily get into how she's actually really feeling and why she has reached out to you. So there's a quote that I really like by Corey Wayne, and it is something like this. He says, "If a woman reaches out to you, assume that means that she wants to see you." And I have found that to be incredibly true. I found it true when I was dating and when I met my wife. If a woman is reaching out to you, it usually means that she wants to see you or she misses you. So even though she may not directly say, "I miss you, I want to get back together," if she's reaching out to you and saying, "Hey, how are you?" and she's inquiring about you, then that is a sign of a woman who feels like she's lost you and is trying to reconnect with you and hoping that you will ask her out. Because again, this is still her sort of testing the waters to see where she stands with you. So if you want her back and she reaches out to you, ask her out. Ask to have a catch-up. Of course, you may not want to do that. Maybe you've moved on. And usually, 9 times out of 10, if this is an ex who you're dealing with, then it's always usually better to just leave the ex as an ex and move on with your life. But sometimes things can happen. Maybe it was a woman that isn't an ex. It could be that she just lost interest in you and she sort of backed off from you. Maybe she sort of disappeared for a little bit. You didn't really understand what happened, which is a very common thing. In fact, a lot of clients that I get are men who are in that situation where they're dating a woman and she's starting to back off, or she has backed off, and they're hoping to reignite her attraction in them. So with that being said though, when it comes to an ex, there are occasions where I say it's okay to get back with an ex. But this is usually down to if there's been a misunderstanding. So a misunderstanding might be they thought that you cheated on her when you didn't. That's a misunderstanding. Or it could be something along the lines of a third party getting involved. Like perhaps her mother didn't really like you that much and was whispering in her ear. Or her best friend and someone got involved, right? That's again a reason when it's okay to get back with someone. Because if that person was genuinely nice and there was a good fit for you and you two got on really well and someone just put a wedge between you, then, that's not really your ex's fault. Although maybe somewhat if they allowed that to influence them. But what you need to do then, if you're in that kind of situation, is you need to talk to your ex when you guys start reconnecting and say, "Look, what happened was that, that person got involved. We need to not involve ourselves with that person anymore because obviously they don't like us together. So we're going to have to find a way to sort of measure the distance with them and not engage with them as much anymore. Or at least we need to not be taking what they say so seriously, so it creates another wedge." So those are occasions when it's okay to get back with an ex. But I'm going to tell you a personal story now. And it's a story that I use quite a lot on this channel. But I think it just reflects how a woman feels and what she will do when she starts to miss you and she feels like she's lost you. So I had a situation where an ex came back into my life. And basically what happened was we had been broken up for a few weeks. I was totally over the relationship. And the reason why I was totally over it was because I found out that this girl who I was dating was just a compulsive liar. And she just lied about so many different things to me. Like lots of serious things too. Like she lied about her family, about family members that she had. She said that she had adopted brothers and sisters, and they just did not exist. And she also was saying about one that had unalived themselves. And it was just all fabricated, all lies, which is really scary. If you think about how people can really lie about those kinds of things. And also when I started to sort of understand that maybe she wasn't being so truthful about her life was when she told me a story. And I can't remember the story exactly. All I remember was how I felt. And basically what I felt was this. She told me a story and it had a punchline at the end. It was quite a funny story. And then the week after, she told me the exact same story, but there were different people involved. It was the exact same story, just different people. And that's when the alarm bells started ringing inside my head, thinking, okay, this isn't right. I don't remember exactly what she said. It was something about giving kids E-numbers or something like that. Like her dad gave her cousins, sweets with E-numbers in it, and they started acting crazy. And then the next time she talks about it, it was just a completely different person involved doing it. So it was something like that. I don't remember specifically, but with that being said, I was over the relationship because of these behaviors, and I was done. I was like, okay, fine, I don't want to be with that person anymore. Clearly, something's going on there. They've got issues, not interested in being with her anymore. So anyway, when she realized that I was gone and that I really did take the breakup seriously, what happened was she re-added me on Facebook. And I accepted the friend request because I was just sort of at a place where I didn't really care. And also, I was at a place where I was just thinking, she probably just wants to add me so she can stalk me. And I was like, fine, you can stalk me if you like. I don't care. But then a few days after she added me and I accepted, she reached out to me and she said, hey, how are you? And we had a conversation for a little bit and we nearly started meeting up again. But I just realized there's just no way I can go back to this. So I put my foot down and we didn't ever meet up again. But that's how a woman may start behaving when she realizes that she's lost you. She will start to do things like re-add you right on things on certain social media platforms, if you're not still friends, obviously. And then she'll reach out to you. But there are other ways that she may do this. Okay? I'm only going from the experience that I had, but I have seen and I've heard of occasions where women will ask their friends to go up to the guy that they liked or their ex-boyfriend and start talking to them. Because basically, they're trying to figure out if he's seeing someone else or if he still misses her and still cares about her and things like that. So she will start to do these really subtle clues. And that's how you'll know that she regrets losing you. And basically, it's this. What she's feeling is she's feeling this fear. She's feeling this fear that you're gone, especially if you're applying no contact. So if you're applying something like the no contact rule and you vow to walk away from her and you're starting to move on with your life, she's going to feel like she's losing you. And if someone loves you and cares about you and they feel like they're losing you, then obviously they're going to try and do something about it. Okay? So I think what worked for me, though, in terms of getting reattached to that ex that came back to get back into my life, was I was doing no contact. Was genuinely just done. And I think, oddly, women can sense that. Women can sense when you're completely over it. And I think a lot of it has to do with micro interactions, not transactions, but micro interactions on things like social media. So if you're not viewing her stories anymore, if you're not liking her posts, if you're not occasionally messaging her anymore, if you've just completely done no contact, and whenever she opens her phone when it comes to you, it's just a blank screen. There's no notifications from you whatsoever. You're not in her stories, you're not in her DMs, you're just gone. And I think that's what really works with women who still have feelings for you, right? And don't want to lose you. Maybe instinctively she thinks that, oh, he'll come back. He'll miss me eventually. He's always messaged me. He's gone for days without messaging me before. He'll message me again. I know he's going to come back. But it's when she realizes that you're gone and you're not going to message her again, and she feels that, and she can sense that fear. That is when she's going to start testing the waters and try to creep back into your life. And then, of course, by that time, you can decide if you want her back in your life. And maybe if it's an ex, maybe it's probably better if she stays out of your life. Because if it ended, it's more likely it's going to end again. But of course, there are specifics to that situation.